The projects that I've worked on before 25 years later are all very similar actually. They're short, non-dialogue films that the audio really carries the story along. And I would say what got me into filmmaking was really my love for photography, which I had at like a very early age, and I've kind of just leapt into film. And over the last 2 years, I've just learned as much as I can from my professors at college, and just doing as much as I can on my own by researching and practicing the craft. And so I would describe 25 years later as, well, in a technical way of like a filmmaker's perspective, it's just a short experimental documentary. But in like a personal way, I gave it to my parents as an anniversary gift. So to me, it's more of an expression of my admiration for their love and how in awe I am of their love story, and it kind of just highlights that. So it's just all very wholesome and sweet. So some of my favorite filmmakers. Oh my god, this is actually a very difficult question. Because like, how can you pick just like a few? Some of my favorite filmmakers, well, female, it's Greta Gerwig, because she just chooses like such good stories to tell, and she just uses very creative and unique ways to tell those stories. So that's very inspirational. And then, of course, Steven Spielberg. I mean, he makes the most iconic fantasy, fairy tale, hopeful films, and it just gets you excited about filmmaking, and I would just love to work with him, love to work with her, and it can't be beat. They're just amazing. If I was given a good budget for my film, like for my next project or for a film, I think I would make a feature-length coming of age story from a woman or girl's perspective. Just because I don't think there's been like a realistic portrayal of that or interpretation of that I felt like told a similar story to me. There's been like parts in each film that I'm like, oh, I can relate to that, but never just like my experience, which makes sense. But like truly from just a woman's perspective, no other. And I think I'm at a really good age to tell that kind of story, because I kind of am getting out of that phase in my life, and we're kind of still going through it. And I just feel like I would have a really unique and interesting way to tell that experience, and it would just be amazing to share with people what I've learned and what I've gone through, and it would just be so cool. I would ensure that I'd stay on schedule for my production by, I'm a very organized person when it comes to stuff that I care about, so when it comes to like work, I plan everything out. I don't plan out my life, but I plan out like things that like matter and that have to get done. So I think I would just take production step by step and like write down what I need to get done, and then within that make a to-do list within each step of what needs to get done and when it needs to get done, and make sure it gets done at that time or even before then and make me feel better. And then I would just when I'm making the film, just check in with all like the departments and my cast and crew, hair, makeup, props, locations, everyone, to make sure we're at the same point, same level, and we're all trying to tell the same story. That way I know we're in this together and we're a team, and it's just the beauty of filmmaking is when you get all these people together to tell a story, to share with people, to get more people together. It's just a beautiful thing of like a shared humanity. So I think that's how I would do it. And I think I would also just be the person to be like, we can do this, we can't do this, and I would make the sacrifices or try to figure out something like a compromise. I think I would do really good at that, be like on top of it, you know? Because that's part of filmmaking, is you gotta make sacrifices that are worth it and that make sure the film gets made, you know? The hardest part of making 25 years later, I would say, is actually there's two things. It was one, just trying to like dig through my garage to find really good archived photos of my parents on their wedding day and making sure they're in good condition and I have enough. But also something that was really time consuming was cutting together the audio and editing it perfectly to like have a kind of banter between my parents, or like a conversation that kind of plays off each other to tell it in a kind of cool way. But I mean, I'm happy with the results. Like, I watched my parents watch it, and I got to see their reaction, and they were emotionally touched. And so, I mean, that's like the greatest thing a filmmaker can see. And then I watched other people watch it and just see how touched they were, and I'm just really happy with it, what came out. Right now, I've been focusing on just writing good, solid, strong scripts. I've been writing feature-length to short films. But I think over the next year and a half, I definitely want to like get a cast crew together, a solid one, get funding, and make a really good 10-minute short film filled with dialogue, and just submit it to as many film festivals as possible. And like film festivals like Tokyo International Film Festival, and just continue to make movies. That's the dream. So I'm excited. Thank you.